For my science fair project, I did Does the temperature of water solution affect the chemical reaction between bleach and food coloring? The purpose of my experiment was just because I was curious by our chemistry course, and I decided that I was familiar with bleach and familiar with food coloring, and I just wanted to give it a shot. So my hypothesis was I believed that when you increase the temperature of water solution to a higher heat, the chemical reaction between yellow food coloring and bleach will be quickened, rather than if you use a cooler water with the chemical reaction of bleach and yellow food coloring. The materials that I had were 5 glasses of water, and I filled each of them with 400 milliliters each. I used a thermometer to measure the temperatures of the water, 8 drops of food coloring in each of the solutions. I did half a teaspoon for the bleach in each of the solutions. I timed the chemical reaction for 2 minutes. I used tap water, I used a freezer to get the water cold, and a tea boiler to get the water hot. So for my experiment, what I did was my control variable was half a teaspoon of bleach and 8 drops of water. This control variable was present in each of the solutions. Then for the independent variable was the temperature water, which therefore I had changed the temperatures of each of the 5 solutions of water. And then for my dependent variable was the chemical reaction that would take place between the bleach and the yellow food dye. So after I filled all the glasses up with their proper temperatures of water, I had different temperatures. So for the freezer, it was 30 degrees water. For the tap water, it was 60 degrees. Then for normal temperature, room temperature water, it was 65. And then to make the temperature increase, I used the tea boiler, which I got to 215 degrees and 175 degrees. And then after I timed 2 minutes each, 2 minutes, the reaction of all of the bleach and yellow food dye solutions. So after that, I got my results. And as you see in these pictures, as the temperature increases in the water, the lighter the color is. So therefore proving my hypothesis right. As you can tell, this was after 2 minutes, each of the water solutions looked like this. And yeah, so you see that 215 degrees is practically like a light yellow, whereas these are a darker yellow. And yes, that was the hottest water and that was the coldest. And yeah, so as you see, this is the chemical equation that proves my hypothesis. So it's basically during the bleaching reaction, the color dye is oxidized by the active ingredient in bleach. So this is basically just the reaction that took place in each of the solutions. And then here are the charts that I made from my experiment for the results. As you see, the darkest yellow, this is after 2 minutes, was when it was at the highest peak. And then you see in that pie chart there, yeah, like the darkest, yeah, so, And then my conclusion is that I proved my hypothesis right, that my experience showed that a higher temperature of water increased the chemical reaction time of yellow food coloring and bleach. Yeah, and I was really happy that it worked, and it was fun to do. So basically, what happened, why my hypothesis worked, is because the reaction rate is increased when the temperature is hotter. And by increasing the temperature, you are speeding up the collision frequency. This is when the particles can only react when they collide. So if I'm heating the substance such as water, the particles will move faster and collide more frequently. That will speed up the rate of reaction. So that is what I observed with the chemical reaction between yellow food coloring and bleach as the temperature was hotter. So yeah, and that's the end of my science fair. Thank you so much for watching or listening, I guess. And have a great day.